boundary, then it's easier, because if you're the only group who decided to cut the card into like 1,000 pieces and got a lot of points, afterwards people were probably pretty bitter toward you, because it seems like you did something that was out of bounds. But you have 4 or 5 groups doing it. The groups who didn't do it probably feel...
But think about it. I mean, here we are in the middle of Silicon Valley. The people who take the biggest risks are likely the ones who are going to make the biggest rewards. Okay, in a lot of different ways. And they are willing to fail. I mean, this is an interesting point. How much are you willing to take a risk? You know, there's a sort of a point of view is that if you are, that the ratio between your successes and your failures is pretty constant. So if you want some more successes, you're going to have to put up with more failures. And so, you know, if you're so worried about failing, you're not going to do anything big. I mean, because you're just going to do something safe. And this fear of doing something that's going to maybe fail, I mean, what was going to be the consequence here? I mean, what was going to be, were we going to throw you out the window?
I think I said to someone, it's just kind of pride points.
Yeah, but that's a point. Okay, really good. Somebody has a comment here? Yes, there are lots of, okay. 1, 2, 3, yes,
yeah,
one.
It's conflicted partly with our commune. So exactly, I think I heard him saying like, yeah, what if we don't get any points at all? And then at one point, I guess I said like, yeah, just screw it. You know, let's put like 2 of them on top. I felt it's totally useless.
What if it explodes? Okay, what if it explodes? Like, nobody's going to die. Yeah.
You notice that we were willing to push a lot of assumptions, but the one that we none of us willing to push was that the top floor must be composed of face cards, plural. So all of our top floors have 2 face cards.
Right. Okay, cool. Yeah, you read it. Yes, Karen.
One interesting thing jumping off that one I said earlier is that maybe our side didn't come up with something more creative because we didn't have competition at a certain point. Like we weren't trying. Once we had established that this was like our group maximum points, we didn't think that.
I think that's a.
We had nothing. We had no one to compete against.
That's a really brilliant insight. Is that when you came up with the solution you all agreed on, you stopped innovating. These folks kept innovating because they were competing till the very end, and kept coming up with more and more creative solutions. Really, really good insight. Yeah.
I think actually having some constraints can be a really nice creative impetus.
Yeah.
So, like when we proposed the idea of just stacking, keeping the deck of cards stacked normally, just alternating red and black, and then we had some people on the team push back against that to say, well, I don't know if that counts as a house of cards. So then it was like, okay, well, how can I take that same concept, but just separate them enough so that it looks like a house of cards?
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how this
yeah, it's very clever. They had some great
like
solutions.
Working within the constraints, and that also kept everybody happy in the team because nobody felt like we were